Yo, yo. We are so back, DLC says. We are back. We're in the house. We are alive and well. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Shut this down. Okay. Mark is in the house. We got 4 people in here. Good stuff. Anyone want to guess what that drink is? From that sound? Yo, Amy in the house, back in action. Yes, we are. If it's not a white monster, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I gotta open this window. It's snowing, but it's hot as hell in here, so that's gonna happen. Yes. Celsius, gross, dude. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Those are terrible. Sorry, Nick Walker. That shit sucks. We had some questions from chaseironsforum.com. Joined today. Let's see. Let me find him. A rain guy. Yeah, I like the I like the rainbow sherbet one. That one's good. I try to limit myself to one energy drink a day. Sometimes I cut them out completely. Let me see. Sorry, I gotta find these questions and then we'll dig into these. There were a few good ones in there. I miss energy drinks. Yeah, they're hard to quit for real. David said rains are a bit much. They're good for sipping. Yeah, man, some of the stuff is too sweet, honestly, and it just I have to, and I can't just like sip on something. I always have to chug whatever I'm drinking. I don't know what the hell that's about, but it causes problems. Drinking the new Punk Punch Monster. That's not zero sugar, is it? Punk Punch? Doesn't sound like zero sugar. That's not on your diet, Mark. Bang cotton candy is the hill I will die on. Yeah, I can't do the bang. It's I've never tried the cotton candy to be fair, but the bang shit just tastes so chemically to me. Chemically. Is that a word? Whatever. I can make shit up. Yeah, the bang. I used to like the radical skedaddle or whatever, and then it started tasting like Windex or some shit. So I stopped drinking it. Okay. While you guys think of questions, I have these pre-registered questions from my friend Joey over at chaseironsforum.com. Thank you, Joey. Would testosterone still help with visceral fat if I'm already cranking on the GH? It will. I wouldn't run it like that though. I wouldn't run those two together. The way I would use testosterone, and what I'll start with is I've never used it, and I don't have full intention of really trying it. But if I were going to use it, I would come off my GH and take a break. In that time that I come off GH, I would use testosterone instead. That's what I would do is I would run testosterone instead of growth hormone. I personally wouldn't run them together. That's just me. So take that for what you will. But yeah, the testosterone should be more targeted at visceral fat than growth hormone alone. But like I said, your growth hormone's likely covering the majority of what you're looking for. So I don't know. GH is kind of my thing. Like I prefer it. I have heard and know a few pros that are running testosterone instead of growth hormone. And they're getting really good response from it. And I have a theory about it, and it's totally theory. It could be total bullshit. But my thought is since they've been on exogenous growth hormone for so long, perhaps their, down regulated natural ability to manifest a good amount of GH is really low to none. So being on testosterone is actually regifting them some of that natural GH that they haven't felt in a long, 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 long time. Um, that's my theory. It could be total bullshit. Don't know. Don't know. Ask a guy smarter than me. Tips/stretches to help with external shoulder rotation. This is a loaded one. Um, Mark is still talking about his fucking energy drink. Chill, Mark. We know it's 0 calorie. We believe you. Tip stretches to help with external shoulder rotation. Um, Man, this is a loaded one, Joey. Let me just answer it like black and white, the way you asked it. Stretches to help with external shoulder rotation. Um, Rear capsule sleeper stretch, I believe it's called. Some shit like that. That one's great. I've used that since my very first shoulder injury when I was like 17. Um, a really good chiropractor taught me that one. Um, and then when shoulder things come up, the sleeper stretch always gets introduced first for me, and it really opens up a lot of things. So that would be my number one, like easiest one. Um, as far as like shoulder stretches, which is kind of what you asked. I like using a band like looped around a like chin up bar, and I will do some mobilization. Just kind of loop your hand through the band so it's like dangling on your wrist, and I will mobilize the lat and kind of work the shoulder through different ranges, um, and try to get the scapula moving. One of the biggest issues with most of us is the scapula just gets glued up, and you need to free up that scapula and get it moving, um, in order to regain some external rotation. If I was going to get more nerdy about it, which I don't love to because it's not my full wheelhouse, this is more Danny stuff I'm learning from Danny. So I'm not going to speak on it as if I'm an expert. But using training to regain some shoulder mobility has been incredibly beneficial for me. For example, doing lat pull downs, and like allowing the scapula to actually go through the full range and have that range actually come from the scapula and the shoulder. Um, so that using your training as a tool to regain shoulder mobility is like, man, you're winning both ways because you're not having to lie on the floor and do all this stupid mobility shit that we all hate doing. We all love training. So if we can incorporate like PT, kind of be sneaky about it and just incorporate it into our training, we're all going to get it done that way, right? Another thing to keep in mind, the pec minor gets tight on a lot of us. That will pull that shoulder forward, limit some of that external rotation. The pec major can even get tight and limit some of that. The lats can get tight, the teres, all that stuff. Hitting it with a foam roller can help a little bit, um, help regain some of that stuff. Digging out underneath the scapula with like a lacrosse ball, like a subscap, dig out in there. You can regain some mobility that way. um, I would just start with one thing at a time. and see what it does. One of the number one like PT exercises, in my opinion, for bodybuilders, this is one I learned from Danny as well, is called the kettlebell arm bar. So Joey, look that up on YouTube. You'll be able to find several examples of that. What that does is it does a few things. One, you actually regain some rotation, which is a good thing because a lot of us don't have that. Um, and you get the scapula to kind of sit back, and you start building up some of that posterior stuff that's all glued up. So that's another one to look into. I think that one's probably the biggest return on investment if you were to start doing some sort of PT. Would be the one arm kettlebell arm bar is what it's called. Um, let's see. ES does astragaloside IV. It's that's an ingredient in like high end kidney supplements normally. Like Leviathan Kidney has that in there. Does it help EGFR as much as just using bulk astragalus? Um, Another question would be, would SS31 help as well? Um, at the end of the day, they're going to be equivalent. Obviously, the astragalus is a lot cheaper. The amount that you have to run is going to be significant because the IV is just more concentrated and it's more targeted at the kidneys themselves. Um, the astragalus is still, from what I've seen, going to improve your EGFR, assuming there's no long-term damage from either NSAID use, abusing different types of NSAIDs, which a lot of people in our industry do or have done. Lots of stomach ulcers, kidney damage from high doses of ibuprofen, um, which is crazy. Which is crazy, but it sounds crazy, but it's out there. Also, I mean, if the kidneys are so damaged from high blood pressure for decades, astragalus might not save your ass. Just being honest. SS31, that's going to help on the mitochondrial level. So it is going to work in a different aspect. But yeah, SS31 has some pretty good evidence that it can be protective for the kidneys. As far as what it does for increasing the filter rate, I don't know for sure. I would be making that up. I'd be making that up. But as far as being protective for the kidneys, yeah, it's very protective for the kidneys. Um, yeah, David, um, that stuff tastes like shit, dude. Yeah, bro, that shit's nasty. 9 me BC. Yeah, that shit's gross, dude. Really gross. Tell her sorry about that. But I don't care at the same time. Joey also asked me the best food you ate over the holidays. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about me and how I approach holiday food. And I want to be careful with how I talk about it. Um, I don't, I bring my food still. And it's funny because, like, most, like, whatever, hardcore bodybuilders will be like, oh, you're going to be the fucking Tupperware guy on Christmas. And it's like, yeah, I am. And it's not because I think I'm special. Most of the time, most of the time, the food there just doesn't excite me more than actually what I have with me. And if it were to, then I would allow myself to have it, right? So a lot of the times I'll ask my wife, wherever we might be going, for whichever holiday, hey, what are they making? And if it's just something that's just like doesn't get me crazy excited, I'm like, I'll just bring my food. It's just it's no big deal for me. Um, I bring my food with me everywhere. It's literally it's like um it's like my wallet, dude. Like I got my food. It's literally my wallet because my backpack has my food in it. It's got my keys, my whatever I need. It's like my purse. It's my man purse. I got all my shit in there. I always got all my shit on me. So no, I didn't have any like great food over the holiday. And that's just because nothing amused me. So I wasn't like crazy excited to have anything. And so yeah, that's not me being a superhero or trying to beat my chest like, yeah, I stayed on diet through the holiday. It's like, no, like I just literally my food seemed better than the options available. And that's not to take away from anyone's cooking or anything like that. It's just like I looked at what was there or what my options were, and I'm just like, it just wasn't exciting for me. And that's totally cool. I mean, yeah, there were some cookies that did catch my attention. I'm just like, I think I'm fine. And I was also in the point where I am, still actively rebounding from my show. So I'm really not interested in potentially holding any water or edema and stuff like that. It's not good for your health after you went through a hard contest prep. I don't like to blow up with water. I think it's very, very bad for you long term. Long term. In the intra, yes, it's bad for you, but I think long term, it's not good, man. We do all this shit to, keep our blood pressure good and all these other things. And then guys and girls will gain 20, 40 pounds, 2 weeks after a show. And it's like, it's not even about body composition at that point. What is that doing to your kidneys and your heart? Right? What is that doing? Man, you already just went through a contest prep, which was likely quite stressful and inflammatory to the body. And now you want to slam it with shitty food. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Not my thing. There was one night where my family came over and it was a high day anyways. Um, so I did have my sushi first, and then my wife had some like sliders that she made and stuff. We had my family over and we just did like appetizers and shit. So I just picked at a few things after I had my sushi because it looked good and I wanted it, right? So I'm not always just the hardcore bodybuilder. It's just that's just how I go. Jared, my man, thoughts on nootropic mushroom blend stuff in place of coffee/caffeine? Yeah, I like some of it. Um, there's one brand, man, I would sit here for 20 minutes if I try to think of it right now. Jared, I'll if it comes to me, I'll let you know. Um, Fuck, I'm not even gonna start to try because I'll rack my brain. Yeah, the long story short is yes, I've used some and it's good. Um, what you want to look for is organic and low acid. Um, so if you look up like low acid coffee, you'll find some good options out there. Man, I really wish I could think of this brand. It's just not gonna come to me right now. It's not gonna come to me. Keys, wallet, phone, food. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, my food first. And then I'm like, fuck, I guess I'll find my keys if I have to leave. My wallet, it's in my bag somewhere. All my cards, my credit cards on my cell phone. So I don't really even I try not to carry my wallet on person because I don't want to lose it. The phone always, yeah, always got the phone. Um, Thoughts on Increlex? Have any of your clients used it? Have you run it? Is it overrated? I've never used it. Um, I would like to. I would like to try it. Have any of my clients used it? I have one who has it right now. We have not started it yet. I have a close friend um, who did an experiment with it this year uh, with quite good results. Um, no, I have not run it. I already said that. Is it overrated? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anything. How do I want to say this? Um, I want to say that everything is overrated, and at the same time, this is why it's hard for me to say. I think people give too much credit to the wrong things too often, or they point fingers at the wrong things too often. It happens both ways, right? Man, I'm growing. My pumps are great. It's got to be this 3 IUs of insulin I'm using. Mm, I don't know. Or is it the 50 extra carbs I just gave you? And we increased sodium in that meal. I don't know. You can think it's the 3 IUs of insulin, but I don't. It's like that's just an example. It's not a real person or anything like that. But shit like that, um, man, I started taking Mot C and my blood pressure got better. It's like, no, you actually started dieting and then you started doing cardio, and then you just happen to add Mot C at the same time, and now you're paying it all the credit. And don't get me wrong, Mot C is great, but this is where my point of are things overrated? Are things overhyped? Are things underrated? Are things underhyped? It's the answer's in the middle. Increlex is probably great for what it is. Is it the next best thing? Probably not. Probably not. Um, is it worth it? That's the famous question. I don't know. I've never used it. Um, the word worth to me is bothersome because I don't know how to quantify it. And most people don't because most people quantify what something is worth based off the price of it. Well, not all of us make the same amount of money, one. And two, you can't determine, you know, what type of result you're going to yield and how do you quantify that result. Okay, so if we were able to say X drug put on 25 pounds of lean muscle tissue, right? So X put on 25 pounds of lean muscle tissue and it cost me $150 a month. Yes, that's worth it, right? We can all agree on that. Now Y put on 5 pounds of muscle tissue and it cost me $9,000 a month. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. Well, listen, guys, $9,000 a month, that's a lot of money for me. It's not a lot of money for some people. I know that's hard to fathom, but $9,000 a month for some people is just not a big number. And I don't know a lot of people where $9,000 is just like willy nilly and they can just toss it around, but I know people that can. Um, so whenever we're justifying, is this worth it? Is X worth it? Is Y worth it? I don't know. No one can answer that because it's not easy enough to quantify. Is flavored cream of rice worth it? Right? For some people, it is. It really is. For some people, it's not. They're better off making their own at home. But that doesn't give anyone the right to say, well, it's just not worth it, bro. It's like, well, it's not worth it to you. Okay. There's no way to quantify or measure it. So that's where my thoughts are on that. I had a question. Let me make sure I didn't miss any in here. Um, oh, here's my boy, Freedom Baby. What's up, Tommy? Welcome, dude. Nice to see you. Thoughts on the GLP-1 Vision getting fucked up study that came out? Thoughts on keeping low dose Retta in long term, or do you think in a couple years a new study will come out saying it's terrible for us? Um, The GLP-1 Vision study, I haven't read it personally. What I heard is it was already the people that were already existing diabetics. Diabetes directly affects the eyes. That's not a new thing, right? That's diabetes affects blood vessels in general. Um, so the correlation and causation there, that from my understanding, it was everyone that already had diabetes and they were already um, subjected to potentially vision issues. I don't know for sure. I didn't read the study. I don't care to. Um, I don't worry about shit like that. Yeah, and there's a study for everything, and you can I can find a study that will explain to you why AIDS is a good thing. You know, like that's being crazy, but I'm just talking out my ass. But you can literally justify or find a study to prove your point on mostly anything. The other question you asked was thoughts on keeping low dose Retta in long term. I don't think anything needs to be kept in long term. Um, I think you can easily cycle off Retta and come back on it. I don't think you have to, but I would because I don't think you should be on anything forever. Anything really, unless there's a medical demand for it. Like if you're diabetic, you should probably use your insulin. You know, that type of thing. Um, if you have whatever a medical condition, yeah, use your medicine long term. But like for a lot of our world is who I'm speaking to right now. Um, if you're just using Retta for the health benefits, insulin sensitivity, etc., cholesterol lowering, inflammation lowering, on and on and on and on and on and on and on, you don't have to run it permanently forever, forever. Amen. You can take a few weeks off. I haven't used it in probably 6 weeks now, and yeah, I'm going to get back on it when I want to, whenever that time is, whenever I see it fit into my plan. Um, but so the question, thoughts on keeping it a low dose of Retta in long term? I absolutely think you can. Um, that type of drug, you know, any of those type of agonists, anything that can keep us more insulin sensitive for the rest of our lives is the game changer if longevity is your goal. If you want to live a long time, keep your insulin sensitivity good. If you want to fucking die early, ruin your insulin sensitivity, become insulin resistant, everything else will fall the fuck apart. I think it's one of the cornerstones of health is how we manage insulin sensitivity. When you're insulin resistant, cancers grow easier, inflammation grows, dementia, they're calling it type 4 diabetes, it wreaks havoc. Heart disease, generally, a lot of the times, is coming from insulin resistance. Um, Man, insulin sensitivity, in my opinion, is the biggest needle mover in keeping you healthy. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong once, but not normally. Um, and then the last question Freedom Baby had, do you think in a couple of years a new study will come out saying it's terrible for us? No, I don't. I really don't. No, no. Here's the thing. The drug still has side effects, guys. And that's coming from someone who endorses, not endorse, but man, I think they're really good. I think I think it's one of the biggest inventions in medicine, inventions, I guess you could call it, since exogenous insulin use. I think it's going to be the biggest thing in medicine we've seen in decades, 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 decades. I'm talking larger than opiate epidemic and all that shit. I think it's going to be the one of the biggest revolutions that come about in the medical and health field. It already is. I mean, let's be honest. Um, So do you think there's going to be a new study that comes out in a couple of years saying it's terrible for us? No. No, because it's not one of these off the shelf random fucking acne medications or whatever you see on TV. If people watch TV anymore, I don't even know if people do. They used to have those fucking like, hey, call this lawyer if you're pissing out your ass because you took whatever, right? You took Vagisil and now your heart stopped, right? So call 991 65 Larry, right? Um, I don't think this is going to be the case. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. David says you can spin anything the right way. You can make a single study. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, when not one study matters, all of them matter. Yeah, it's all of them. Yeah. Um, and like, let's be honest, 95% of people I know, they don't know how to read a fucking study. Most of them don't know how to read a fucking text message. You think they're gonna read a medical study? Come on. Come on. Most of you guys can't read your fucking diet right. Mark's over there drinking fucking monsters, full sugar monsters. Those aren't on your diet, Mark. You fucking savage. You, sir, are the GOAT. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We're back on Saturday. Um, there was a question in the forum that I got, and it was kind of something I briefly touched on just now. What would be your forever peptides? Forever. Forever. None. None. Um, I don't know. Growth hormone will be in and out of my life for the rest of my life. Um, I know that's not a peptide, but to me it is. So, growth hormone for me, it's here to stay for a long time. Occasionally I'll like change the dose around. Occasionally I'll take some time off it. Whatever the fuck's going on in my life. Sometimes I don't. Whatever. Sometimes I just don't want to take it. Fuck off. I don't need an explanation. Um, BPC is up there for me. I think that's one most people could use for a very long time. I'll never use the word forever. I will never use the word forever, especially not in this fucking world. When it comes to fitness and shit, um, that's I don't want to go off on that yet, but I'll come back. I'll circle back. BPC, KPV is man, I'm a big fan of it. Big fan of KPV. That's one of the only ones I'm running right now. So KPV would be a one for me. So BPC, KPV, those two alone, I think, man, they do a lot. They do a lot. Motzi is up there for me. I do personally believe Motzi should be cycled. I don't think it should be stayed on forever, 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 forever. I do think mitochondria can actually get too efficient. I know people would argue that, and whatever. I don't argue, so that's just my opinion. So yeah, Motzi is really, really good shit. Same with SS31. So those four I love. Uh any of the tirzepatide, retatrutide, or retatrutide, however you want to say it, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've met chefs who are great cooks. One of them will say tomato and the other will say tomato. So I saw a video of someone like just bitching about how people are saying retatrutide instead of retatrutide. What the fuck does it matter? Because most of them probably know more about it than you do, anyways. The fact that you just know how to say it more proper, does that give you credibility? Shut up. Okay, anyways. BPC, KPV, SS31 Mot C are like my peptides that I like. Growth hormone is my favorite. Retatrutide, which is how I say it, potentially my second favorite. And not that doesn't mean just for me. I could go without it the rest of my life. I'd be fucking fine. I don't care. I think it's just doing such good for the world. Hate to say it, but I can't tell you how many stories I've been involved with personally, where people it has changed their life. And probably 10, 20 times more than that, I've heard the stories, right? So, man, I don't know. That one's up there. But if like forever, like I said, I just hate the word. Here's why I hate the word. And I was like I said, I was going to circle back to this. In our world, I keep saying that. I just mean you fucking idiots, you bodybuilders, people that work out, exercise, eat garbage and take drugs, right? Eat fucking shitty chicken and inject drugs. In our world, there's a phenomenon where people assume that they found it. What do I mean by that? I found it, right? Aha. We'll call it an aha moment. The aha moment happens at different stages of someone's fitness journey, right? And what the aha moment sounds like is I've been doing this wrong for so long, and now I fucking figured it out. What does that mean? This is what that means. Someone finds a workout split. Let's give this example. Someone finds a workout split and they say, "This is the fucking one. This is the one. I'm gonna ride it out. Fucking nothing else exists besides this plan right here and this logbook. Done. I'm done. I figured it out. I found the best workout for me forever." Guys, let me tell you, it's not going to fucking happen. It's not going to happen. I found my favorite peptide for now until it changes, guys. I found my favorite pre workout. Yeah, until someone gives you a fucking better one, right? So when people ask, what's the best XYZ, insert the blank, my answer is, oh, this one works right now for me really well. That's it. Full stop. Stop right there. What's the best workout to bring up my back? I don't know. I don't know. The one that you're going to do and do it good or something, you know? So that's the phenomenon is I found it. Game changer. Here's the fucking game changer. This is the one, right? So with all that put aside, I do think you can build your own personal core pillars and values to do with this world. What do I mean? I'm a strong believer in carb cycling or caloric cycling. I'm a strong believer in that. Will I ever change my mind on it? Maybe. But I've been a believer in that for, man, since I can remember, you know, since I started learning about nutrition. Um, that's just always one that just really made sense to me. It really made sense to me. So that's one of like my pillars is how I approach nutrition. I think some sort of caloric cycling needs to happen, right? Does that mean Justin Harris's carb cycling spreadsheet is the answer? No, it doesn't mean that. But the philosophy, the big picture behind it, Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. John Meadows training. He's mentioned in the chat here. I'm a big believer of John's style of training. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to do Meadows rows? No. John's philosophy of training was he had a sequence that he followed typically. And the sequence looks something like activation pump, right? Compound type movement, explosive, hard effort, intensity. Then we would go into another pump, isolation, semi compound, and then we would finish with a stretch type movement. Overall philosophy on training is all those things. Does that mean Creeping Death 2 is the program you need to run for the rest of your life? No, but you need to take what that program is built around and apply it. And that when I approach training, John's style is very near and dear to my heart. And my brain works that way. The other thing for training is West Side barbell principles. I don't even power lift anymore. And I think there's so much gold to be found in conjugated type training. Um, so that's what I mean is building your core principles in philosophy on what you believe. That it comes down to drugs, right? I'm a guy who believes that testosterone is one of the big movers. It's the big mover, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Does that mean for every one of my clients they just run high testosterone? No, no. They run what they need to run, right? Imagine if I was so caught up in my own bullshit that everyone did the same exact thing. Do coaches do that? Yes. I don't. I have guys that, are running 200 tests, 600 master on. Oh, Tommy believes in the safer use protocol. No, I don't, but it works for this guy right here, and I need to use it for him. And I have more than one tool in my toolbox, right? Um, my overall philosophy on using these type of things, educational, right? This is not me. This is totally, just for entertainment. But my philosophy about it is pick one, two, three things that work really well and cycle them in and out. And, find other things that work and use those as needed, right? Um, but there's no like, this is the cycle for the rest of my life. This is the one I'm going to run until I die. I don't think there's one of those. And man, like I'm a test EQGH guy. Does that mean I'm going to run it forever? I don't know. Probably not. Right now, I'm not even using EQ, right? Um, so like, just that's I don't want to drag it out, but my point is, just don't die on anything. Like this is the exact protocol and method I need to use forever, forever. Amen. It's not true, but ride it until it stops working because it will. It will, because things work in waves, and that's good. You ride the fucking wave until it's done. You ride that wave until it's expended, it's done, and then you move on. And guess what? That wave comes back at some point, and you ride it again, right? Um, but there's too many people who die on shit and they just spin their wheels forever. They don't make any progress because their ego is so large that they found the secret training protocol, diet, insert here thing. And yeah, and that's where their progress died, is right there. Right. So, um, build a philosophy on your core beliefs, on what you think, um, makes sense to you, resonates with you. But don't write everything else off because of that. You know, like I joke about the logbook. Man, I got some clients using a logbook because right now they need to and it works for them. I don't use one right now. I have for a long time. I've not used one for a long time. It's but it's. I try not to be like, oh no, you don't need that. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Oh, let's see. Now that I'm done with that, Jesus, this fucking guy doesn't shut up. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, here's one from John, my boy. Have you thought about when you would stop bodybuilding and focus on longevity? Always told myself I'd push to my mid 40s. Um, for me, John, I there's no stopping. Um, competing and getting on stage, I don't know. I will stop when I don't want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Um, there's no stop for this for me. Um, there's no other plan. Um, when we talk about bodybuilding, I mean just this lifestyle. This is what I do. This is what I do. It doesn't change, hasn't changed in a long time. Um, as far as being competitive, like actually getting in my women's underwear and going on stage, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it right now because my goals are too big. Um, my goals are too big to think about even stopping, right? So, um, yeah, I don't have like an age in mind or anything like that. Um, the sport will probably at some point make me stop. I will be that guy that probably does it for too long. Um, God forbid I end up with a health issue or a major injury. Um, that would be my stopping point. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if I have anything in here. I like when clients send me um, photos of them like pumped in the gym. And I'm not kidding. It's not me joking. I like when you guys do that. Please send your normal check-in photos the way you're supposed to. But man, like if you guys are in the gym and you're feeling good and shit, like, and you send me photos, I love that shit. I fucking love that shit. And you know what else? I love when you guys post those on social media and tag me. And that's not just for my advertising, which I don't fucking care. You can hire me if you want. Um, it's not just for that. It does make me look good. So thanks. But the reason I love that is I know that feeling. I know that feeling where like you're just, man, the workout's just going. Shit's moving, everything's clicking, the blood is flowing. You you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I actually look semi decent today. How do I know I look semi decent today? Because I just took my fucking cell phone out and I'm going to take a picture of myself and I'm going to send it to my coach. Man, tell me that doesn't feel good for both of us. You know what I mean? Imagine, imagine whatever you do for a living. We all do something. We all do. Some of you do. Some of you fucking suck. You probably live with, I don't know, whatever, in a dumpster or something. Um, we all do something for a living. So imagine whatever you do for a living, your customer, client, friend, whatever they are to you, says, hey, what we're doing together, what you did for me, this service, I feel fucking awesome. Look at what it's doing. And they literally take a photo of themselves and send it to you to share that with you. Man, that's good shit. Imagine you build race cars and someone just captures a video of them starting that car and you just see their face light the fuck up, right? You just see all this joy come over their face of, well, it sounds terrible. You see, fuck. You see the joy in their face. And man, that feeling of knowing that you were a part of that, how do you beat that shit? How do you beat that feeling? I don't know. Don't know. I'll let you think about it. John, my boy. Thoughts on when your next show will be? Fuck if I know. I'm picking my show this year based off when my clients are doing shows. Meaning I want everyone's schedule set first, and then I'm going to choose a weekend, which is my fucking weekend, and you can all screw off. That's how I'm picking my show this year. So I'm going to kind of figure out what you guys are doing, which weekends you're going to be using. And I'm not going to tell you the shows I have in mind because I don't want to fuck with anyone's plan. Because they're going to be, oh, Tommy's doing a show that weekend. I don't want any of that. So I'm getting everyone's shows. We're starting to pick out some shows for people. And that way I can look at the layout and be like, okay, I can fit a show in here. Let's see. What did I miss? It said David said, I love when you go on rants. I think I'm just going to grow this year. Yeah, I mean, some of my guys just want to grow this year. Matt just wants to put on size this year. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially, as lean as he is right now, we have a long fucking way to go. We have a long way to grow. He's all sorts of insulin sensitive. He's in a great spot. Blood pressure's good. Yeah, everything's going good on that end. So yeah, I mean, if the body's growing, you just let that fucker grow. You ride the wave, right? You ride the wave. John, I missed this up here. Chances of putting me through a back workout at the Arnold. Let's see. I think we get there Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday's a non-training day. Friday's chest. Saturday is like a posterior chain day, so it's kind of a back day. It's possible, John. You have to wake the fuck up though, because we're training when I train, which I know is not a problem for you because you work stupid hours. But yeah, we would have to train at like 5 a.m, 5:30, maybe 6 at the latest. Because I don't change my training time for no one. Change that shit for no one. That's Raymond. We start at 6 a.m. We start working out at 6 a.m. If Raymond's there at 6:05, my first fucking set or second set is probably already done. I don't wait for no one. I don't wait for no one. I love y'all. Promise. Love Raymond too. Love him to death. I don't fucking care. Because once it's go time, nothing's stopping me. Nothing is stopping me. What kind of questions do you guys have? Let's see if I had any more in here. Something about Illinois, man. Ray has been slowly mutating. Yeah, it's Illinois, right? He figured it out. He figured it out. It's the cold weather. Yeah, it's that Huntley air. Uh-huh. Yeah. When working out first thing in the morning, what does your food intake look like in the morning? Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Freedom Beatty. Um, so I start every morning with like a digestion drink. A lot of you that are working with me or have worked with me, um, that's how we start our morning, either 20, 30, some of you as much as 40 ounces. Big digestion drink. Most of you have gut revival in there. Um, some of you are sensitive to the gut revival for whatever reason. So we'll use like Project AD Good Morning or something along those lines. Normally, some sort of electrolyte in there. Typically, it's Body Bio, which is my preferred. Some of you have extra salt in there. Some of you have some other shit in there as needed. Um, so, first thing in the morning is my morning drink and my morning supplements. Um, and then I will do whatever I need to hygienically, right? If I need to trim up my facial hair, whatever, brush my teeth, of course, deodorant, all that stuff all gets done. I head downstairs, go to the garage, do my peptide stuff, right? Um, and then I get ready for meal one. And so I have my meal one, which is um, chicken, cream of rice, a little bit of fat in there, a little bit of sourdough bread. Um, So I eat that, get that down. Then I start doing some little around the house chores, emptying the dishwasher, setting up my supplements for later that night and the next morning, and just getting everything set up, setting up my water and my electrolytes for the day, getting my bag and food ready and everything good to go. Um, what I'm doing is just moving around after I eat my first meal. Right, so I eat that first meal, and I want to be on my feet. I'm not gonna go for a walk. So instead, I'm just doing shit around the house, emptying the dishwasher, blah, blah, blah. So then 30, 40 minutes later, I'll start drinking my pre-workout drink, and then I'll just start heading to the gym. The gym that I'm going to now is about 5, 10 minutes away from my house. So by the time I get to the gym, um, meal one is finished by 5. I am training by 6 o'clock. So it's nearly exactly an hour from meal one to training. So, what does your food intake look like? Just a typical meal before I train. Everyone should be able to wake up early enough to get one meal in before they train. Um, it's not hard. David said, training with Tommy is great. Thank you, David. Yeah, we had fun. That was cool. It was like a little shitty hotel gym too. We got a really good workout. He made 30s feel like hundreds. Yeah. I have a way of doing that for people. It's good, man. It's good. That was fun. Yeah, that was a ton of fun. Uh, thoughts on myostatin inhibition or myostatin blocker by um, some other company that's not Omega Amino? I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I really don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not interested in trying it really. Um, I don't know, maybe. Like I said, I never just like write shit off. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna let everyone else try it first and then fucking see if it's worth it, bro. But no, for real, I don't I honestly don't know, dude. I really don't know. I'll tell you, I keep hearing about them. I will tell you that. Well, okay, sorry. Sorry, distracted. What's your morning look like before your workout begins from a timing perspective? I just went over this, you dick. Pay attention. But what do you mean? Did I miss something? Because if I did, tell me. Maybe I did. It's not unheard of for me to miss things. I typed it as he did. Shut up, dude. You're a copier. I love morning workouts, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, Man, that shit's done for the day. Nothing can fuck up my day now. We're good to go. I mean, shit, my day still sucks after that, but suck a lot fucking more if you mess up my workout. That's for sure. So once that's done, man, we're good. All I got to do then is eat. I'm going to answer that when I get back, Brett. I just got to pee real quick. So you guys, please keep the chat active. Oh, I lost someone. Someone left. And I lost a like. Someone took a thumbs up away. You guys are shit. Who the fuck does that? That's rude. All right, Brett. I've been thinking. David said that's so rude. Oh, they put it back. You're a dick. Whoever you are, you're a dick. All right, sorry, Brett. I've been thinking about switching to AM workouts. Do you do it for any benefit other than just knocking it out? Um, yeah, yes. Um, which way do I want to approach it? As a social and emotional level, right? We'll start there. It's better for my family life to have that workout done before anyone's even awake in the home. Um, I work all day long. By the time I get home, um, I could not imagine still having to go to the gym. I could not imagine still having to go to the gym. Um, Man, the I get 2 hours with Amanda and Landon a day, maximum 2 hours. It's typically from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. That's it. That's all we get. That's all we get, guys. So that workout needs to be done um, upon waking. You know, um, that's the biggest thing. I really don't have to go much further than that. Do you do it for any other benefit other than just knocking out? I really don't have to say much more than that. I mean, that's the mover right there. What are the other benefits? Okay, let's go over that. We'll start with like obvious things. One, like you said, just getting it done. Two, when you start your day with something that is important to you, the rest of the day is going to follow suit. So the workout's done. Now you just got to get your meals in, you got to get your fluid in. Those things become much more important because the thing is already done. So now you got to recover from the thing. And the rest of the day, that goal number one was taken care of first. It's like if you're trying to save money, a helpful thing to do is to start checking your bank account every morning or start looking at your money situation every morning. First thing, right? Um, so yeah, that's like a weird little philosophy, you know, getting that workout. That's why fasted cardio is great. You start your day with something active and, whatever towards your goals, gets everything moving. Um, as far as like other things that's good about it, good. Most of my fluid intake is around my workout. So I have the big morning drink. I have the large intra drink. I have a pre-workout drink. There's a post-workout drink. Big amounts of fluid. Man, I want that as far away from bedtime as possible. How the fuck do you do that? Well, you train in the morning. Great, right? So you front load hydration, you front load electrolytes. You're not waking up every 10 minutes to take a piss. Um, so that's another one, right? Another benefit is what it does to the central nervous system, right? So that sympathetic drive, um, the heightened adrenaline training, you're banging weights, you're getting after it. You now have the rest of the day to hopefully effectively shift yourself to a parasympathetic state, the rest and digest type state, where now hopefully you get better rest, sleep, recovery, etc. Stimulant use generally positioned around the workout. You know, let's be honest and fair. Even when I use my gear, I take my stuff in the morning. Is that a huge big deal? No, it's not. I'm just like rattling off random shit on why I think it's good. Um, so those are just like some reasons to think about. I think everyone should at least try it. If you have a family, man, I don't know how it's not mandatory. Like, unless you guys like you and your partner, whatever, the whole family has it figured out, and the dynamics are like bang on. Like, fuck yeah, good for you. I don't know how to fucking do it. I can't. Just doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. Yeah. So those are just like some benefits that kick around, Brett, and just kind of think about for you, young guy, just engaged. Congratulations, by the way. Everyone congratulate Brett on, you know, successfully locking down a wonderful woman. So that is incredible. Um, as someone who potentially, I don't know if you guys talk about children and stuff like that, but if that is something that you do want to do, man, switching to morning workouts now may kind of set the tone, and you may not have to acclimate later, right? Something to think about. But yeah, all those benefits I listed, um, they're all just like side benefits. The biggest number one thing for me, like I said, was trying to create as much family time as I could. Morning workouts are the only way to go, says Amy. Yeah, Amy's up early as well, getting it done. We go to work. If work runs long, Amy's job always runs long. She's always working extra and doing extra shit for people. Um, if work runs long, she doesn't have to worry about it because her training's done. She has her food with her. She's fucking good to go. That's how we do it. Jay Money in the house. I'm late, but glad you're doing these again, Tommy. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Yeah, I'll talk about where I was in a minute. Amy, you looked awesome at your show. Yeah, that was so much fun. She said, "Thank you, Brett." Amy says, "Tommy speaking was incredible. It's the best I've ever felt on show day." Um, Amy and I had a lot of fun with that prep. Um, she did have a little bit of anxiety at some point in the prep, which we all do. This was her first contest prep with me. This was a contest prep that was not planned ahead of time. We kind of jumped into it and just said, like, fuck yeah, let's roll with it. But once we started cranking and things were moving, like, we both had so much fun with it. And it really produced a great look and still continues to produce an amazing setup for the progression season ahead. So, I forgot about this, David. Who did it? That's so rude. Yeah, you assholes. Taking away the thumbs up. That's what he's talking about. Brett says, probably great to work with a coach that cares as much about the peaks too, Amy. Man, I thanks, Brett. But I love contest prepping people because don't get me wrong, it's a fuck ton more work. I'm just being honest. It's so much more work. If you guys saw how what I did on do on my end to prepare someone for a contest, guys, I have fucking scratch paper notes everywhere about what food they ate at what time, how they looked. I have little personal notes and timing and shit just fucking everywhere when I prep someone. I literally prep them as if I were the one getting on stage. It is that important to me. Um, I've told you guys that before. You guys are just an extension of my own bodybuilding. So every fucking show you guys do, it feels like I'm doing the show with you. And so yeah, thanks, Brett, for recognizing that. Um, Jay Money, I give you a like to make up for it. Thank you, Jay. Raymond says switching to morning training felt like rewiring my brain to make bodybuilding easier. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Jay Money, bodybuilding is all about stacking actions, getting a solid action like training or fasted cardio on the first thing sets you up to keep you stacking. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, just about as the day goes on, just building momentum, checking the boxes, etc. Yeah, Jay, exactly. Um, so let's talk about that. Jay says, I'm loving my fasted cardio right now. I love fasted cardio. Guys, I train in the morning, like we just talked about. If I have to do cardio, I still do it fasted. Well, how the fuck do you do that? Easy, guys. I drink my morning drink, I get my ass downstairs, and I hop on my fucking cardio machine. I get my cardio done. I eat meal one, do all the shit I explained earlier, and I get my ass to the gym, guys. I get a full meal in before I have to go to the gym. So there's a full hour typically between my cardio and my training. You shouldn't train, you shouldn't do cardio before you train. You guys, it doesn't matter. I get to eat a fucking meal. It's not like I'm training fasted or anything. I didn't burn up all my glycogen, bro. I'm fine. I'll be great. I'll be good. Um, have a good day, Brett. Thank you. DLC, personally, I dislike morning cardio. I don't know why, but I feel gross all day. Not like dirty, but energy wise. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yep. Christopher in the house. Hey, coach and bros, finishing up my arm workout. Get after it, my man. Um, Amy said I was in the office at 5:30 this morning. Yep. Yep. Um, that is that's Amy's life there, you know. Your employer's lucky to have you. They probably don't pay you enough, but give me your boss's number. I'll call him. Bro, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How nine old are you? How old are you? Your math guru 101. What's up, dude? I am 34. 34 or 35. Let me do the math. Yeah, I have to do the math. I don't care. Don't worry about me. Oh shit, I'm 35. Or I'll be 35 this year. Yeah. That's how old I am. David, stop asking. He will get to you. Yeah, dude. It took me. You see how long I had to figure out how old I was? Like, not that sharp, my man. Hit that like button for me. J Money, bro, just had an aneurysm with that question. Yeah, he was just curious. Just curious. That's all. It's okay to be curious. What else? What else? What else? Where have I been? I mean, nowhere in particular. Foxer in the house. What up, my dude? Um, I now work Fridays, and they're quite busy. Um, so it's just not practical anymore for me to do the lives on Friday. Saturdays, I really, really, really try to just keep open for the family. So this is, I will probably keep these limited to like an hour 45 at most. But I am going to try to start doing them every Saturday, um, if possible. So that will be exciting, to get back on here and stuff like that. Um, where have I been besides that? I'm 8 weeks post contest, and I had a hard time after my contest. And what do I mean by that? It's I don't know how to like explain it, I guess. Um my contest prep was so easy, quote unquote, whatever, relative to whatever, right? Um so my contest went really well. The preparing for the contest went really well. It was seamless. It felt very easy. Um I'll use that word. I don't know how to replace it. Everything that came after was very difficult. Very difficult. Um, physically, emotionally. Um, some people call it post contest blues or something like that. And I don't quite know that it was that. It was more I became more obsessive with bodybuilding than I was even during the prep. And it was like I was trying to prep after the contest was over, um, which led to me just being extraordinarily obsessive, about everything. And my theory is because the contest went so smooth, I felt like I still needed to do hard shit because the hard shit never got done. The contest went too good, and everything was so seamless. And now maybe that is the post contest blues. I don't know. But the contest went so well. Um, I wasn't I wasn't thrilled about my placing, but that wasn't really anything to do with how I was feeling. the placing was fair and everything like that. I'm not saying that. I placed the way I should have. The two guys that beat me were just better than me. But essentially, I was obsessive post contest about nailing my meals, and like I didn't really even have I had one free meal the night after, and then I had like maybe a dinner or two with my wife. Um, and I was just so obsessive about everything, just trying to perfect everything. Um, I don't think I like let off the gas. And I don't think you need to like just fuck off and like relax post contest, but I think you need to shut your brain off a little bit and like and rebuild relationships and rapport, and not that you fucked any up, but like reintroduce yourself to those people because you just were in this contest prep and blah blah blah. And you should be actively like trying to see people, like going out of your way to like, hey, you want to come over and hang out. It's like, oh no. It's like, well, why not? Your show's over. It's like, yeah, but I fucking got to do this, this, and this, and I got to be up to train in the morning. It's like, man, I mean, so yeah, I basically was stuck in contest prep. And those that know me well and have known me for a long time, you guys already know that I'm kind of like locked in and neurotic about my bodybuilding. And I don't ever plan on being laxed because I don't want to be. I am an obsessive person, and that's just who I am, and I'm good with it. Um, but the there was just like an overwhelming um, goal of just a desire to get better. Um, and it's still there, but I feel really good right now. I feel great. That's why I'm here, right? Um, but at first it was just overwhelming. And just the like I said, just the intention of, man, I need to fuck, because I don't really I'm going to not place first again at one point in my life. Like, we all know that. There's always a motherfucker better than you. There always will be, and that's good. It always gives you something to strive for. I just don't want to feel how I felt again after that show with the placing and everything. My look was great. I'm happy with all that. Um, but just, man, the outcome wasn't fully expected, and I think it's because the prep went so smooth up until you're waiting for them to call your name, and you're like, "Man, fuck, like, I thought for a second." I went into that show thinking I would do very, very well, and, again, it's a subjective sport, so it's no big deal, but then that all weighed in after the show where it's just like, man, like, you just need to get better, right? And I still feel that way, which is great. Now it's like a healthy fire, and I just want to get better, right? But before, it wasn't. It didn't feel healthy or productive. It felt, I don't know, just like a burden. Like a burden, I guess, is the best way to put it. Scotty Mize, my friend, my good friend. How are you? What's up, Tommy? He says. Amy chimes in saying, post show is as much of a skill as prepping is. Post show is so much fucking harder. It takes doing it and getting through it and refining the process. Yeah. Post contest is so much harder than contest prep. It's so much harder, and I wish I could just scream that into people's face about how incredibly difficult it is. For people that are like me that can't shut shit off. Um, yeah, it's just man, the post show contest is just a lot harder for me. And the other thing is, I love training. That's why I do any of this. Like training is my center focus. All of this is because of training. I love it, right? I always have. Um, so when your training is still kind of shit and like the show's over and you just want to get back to training, it's like, well, fuck me. It's like you can't even do the shit I like. Um, I'm starving. Like, I'm not gonna complain or anything, but I'm just kind of telling you guys where my head was. Scotty says he chimes in to say, I totally get that mentality. I do think it's different than post show blues. It is. Yeah, I agree. Post show blues is more about just feeling lost. Yes, without purpose after prep because there isn't a clear goal. Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly what post show blues is. And I have felt that mostly after powerlifting competitions, which is different. But I don't feel post show blues in a nutshell from bodybuilding. I have almost the opposite where I'm just hyper intentional on wanting to just get fucking crazy big and just look like a freak, like we all love to do, but in this time period I want it more than ever, right? Scotty says what you were experiencing was an extra laser focus on the goal. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. And like I said, Scott knows this about me that is just how I am about any goal, any focal point, anything. I've always been that way. I've always been that way. Um, it used to be used against me. Oh, once you fucking get something in your mind, you can't get it out of there. It's like, no, I can't. I can't. Um, that's one of my biggest weaknesses and one of my largest strengths is that trait. Amy says, I've been there. I thought I had it at a show in 2024. It came in dead last. Yeah, I don't mean to laugh, but like, fuck, I know. Um, Burned, but also ignited the fire. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Um, Scotty says things that are way harder than getting show lean. Being a partner. Um, let's see. Being an awesome partner to your significant other during prep. Managing post-show mental state and pushing a surplus when you don't want to eat. Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Scott. Um, like I said, um I just had a hard time with it, and it reflected my mood and how I was treating others, and uh yeah, it's like a worse contest prep phase almost. It's like a whole second contest prep essentially, which I'm still in, but now I love it. I'm feeling good. Um, my composition is pretty good still. A little unfavorable to where it could have been. I did have one fuck up on my diet a couple weeks ago where I was just so incredibly ravenous that I couldn't shut it off. Um, so after like one of my meals, um, this is like a week or two ago, I just opened my pantry and I just went off. I just went off. Just being honest. Just being honest. And I mean, it's not like I eat garbage, I ate like fucking granola bars and rice cakes and cream of rice and like I ate a lot of food for sure. Um, and I just couldn't shut it off. And I told AJ about it. I told a few close friends, and literally they all said the same thing. You're fine. It's like I know. I need someone to tell right now. It's like because I fucked up and I haven't done that and I don't even know how long. But I did it, and the reason I told some of my close friends and things like that it wasn't for like empathy or reassurance that I'm gonna be okay. It was more so like a reminder to myself and to my friends, like, um, there's a human part of me. Um, Unfortunately, I can't be um as robotic as I typically am. Um, so it did bring me back to earth a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty robotic now after that, but that did happen, you know. So I told a few friends and clients about it, just so they know if that ever happens to them, it's normal. And that doesn't mean that I'm something fucking special or anything like that. But people do look up to um, my ability to adhere to a plan. Um, so that was more so a reminder to myself and to friends and things like that. Amanda said, "I witnessed the pantry." Yeah, yeah. I kept telling Amanda too. I'm like, dude, I can't. I literally cannot fucking stop. And I didn't make myself sick or anything, which is wild because my body just like soaked it up and like um it literally just it luckily didn't do any harm essentially. But yeah, I still felt very guilty about it. I still kind of do, but not to the point where I'm gonna let it affect progress. Because if you feel um if you just like beat yourself the fuck up over it, like, man, you're doing much worse for yourself and your progress than that food did. You know what I mean? Because how long are you gonna drag this shit out? Like, you still gonna feel sorry for yourself because you had a few fucking rice cakes, a few like 1,000 rice cakes, but whatever. Um, Matt says, I can definitely say trying to keep the hunger at bay after the shows has been the hardest part so far. Yeah, I'm still absolutely ravenous. I've been looking at the clock essentially since I've been on this live. And yeah, it is it is really, really tough. But I love it. I mean, I love that shit. I like it. This is bodybuilding. You know, it's like I tell Amanda, like, dude, I am hungry as fuck. And she'll even say it. She's like, that's what bodybuilding is. It's like, yeah, that is what bodybuilding is. Silly shit, but we love it, right? And if you don't love it, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Go play golf or whatever the fuck people do. Raymond said, "You look full as fuck the day after. That was awesome." Yeah, there was that. Um, yeah, yeah, there was that. Matt said it was those sandwiches and that big ass cookie. Yeah. Yeah, Matt, you're still in a great condition too. You're in a great spot too, but you're fucking almost as robotic as me, if not as robotic as me. You're another psychopath. So even for you, just know that, like, hey man, if your wife, who's amazing, I spent some time with her at your show. Um, I love seeing other people's side of their life that's like their personal life. Because when you can take someone like out of the bodybuilding environment and like just see them like in their everyday life, like there's just a genuine like touch there, right? And so that was fun. But yeah, if she wants to make you dinner or go out to dinner with you, like, man, I mean, sometimes you just have to do that for her, not for you. I don't give a fuck about you, but she's cool, so, and she'll leave your dumb ass. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? So yeah, long story short, that's where I've been is talking myself off the bridge. Just kidding. We're all good. Questions, I think, are all answered. I'm going to be on for 10 more minutes, I think. And I'm going to go raid my pantry. I could today, too. I could, that's for sure. What questions do you guys have? Let's see if any came in on chaseironsforum.com. chaseironsforum.com. No, I think I got them all. Think I got all of those. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we talked about all that stuff. So we're pretty much caught up. Form's been dead this morning. Everyone's probably running errands. Yeah, I figured. Um, and maybe if I am able to make this timing more consistent, people will know about it ahead of time. Like my Fridays started to get pretty popular in here, which was nice, but like I said, I just can't do it anymore. The Friday doesn't work. Matt, be careful on the roofs. Just arrived to my next inspection. Got to get back to work. Yeah, be careful up there, dude. Yeah, be careful, my man. So let's see. Scotty Mize, when you help clients with fertility, do you/they end up having to do anything for their wife to boost their fertility? I have not had any personal experience helping women regain or recover fertility. Um, but here is a huge ticket item slash hole in a couple's planning. You need to track the female cycle diligently. You need to know when she's ovulating. You need to know that the hormones are doing what they're supposed to do during ovulation. And you need to track that stuff religiously, daily, daily. It needs to be done daily. There are different apps and devices out there um, that are designed to do so. So, the progesterone, estrogen needs to uh, elevate during time of ovulation, um, which is what protects, you know, the embryo, the assumed embryo or fertile egg. Um, Amanda says the app would be called Natural Cycles. That's what we use. Both partners can have it on their phone, um, which goes for planning of whatever you have to do to, um, whatever. I'm a grown up. So you can time having sex, okay, intercourse. So yeah, the natural cycles is something you will both have on your phone, and then the other one is called Anito. Um, and Anito actually comes with a device which your partner um, they have to like pee on a stick and things like this, and this can measure the HCG level, what estrogen's doing, what progesterone's doing, um, and it's quite accurate. It's quite accurate, and it's very useful, guys. When I started my fertility protocol, I only had 400,000 sperm, right? And none of them were actively swimming. So none of them are moving. So motility was 0, and morphology was undetectable in 0, which is morphology is the shape and strength, for lack of a better term, of the health of the present semen that you have, the sperm that you have. So everything was bottomed out for me, but I did have 400,000 there. They just weren't doing anything. They weren't active, and they were all shaped wrong, right? So we religiously started tracking her stuff. I started my protocol on my end. Um, and man, I think it was, within 90 days at maximum, um, where we were successful with that. So part of that was us timing things as religiously as possible, and almost you got to take the shit serious. You got to take it serious. It doesn't mean you need to stress about it. Um, but the whole point of me going over this is the big missing piece is the female side, because we need to be tracking that. We need to be knowing the timing. Amanda said 4 months. So yeah, 4 months before we were successful. And it's a lot of the times it will take longer than that. And I just came off one of the biggest cycles that I've ever run. Literally. Literally. And I was on for a long time. I'll just say that, with no TRT cruise, none of that stuff. Um so yeah, I was probably pretty shut down, or whatever people call it. But so two things, Scott: tracking the female side and getting an initial analysis done for the male side. Because guys will start the protocol before they even test. It's like, well, whoa, man, like maybe you're fine just staying on your gear. I mean, you can come off if you want. I support it, but like, let's see where you're at. Like, get established baseline. A lot of guys don't have to come off anything, and that is generally like a genetic thing. You know, their sperm are just stronger than mine. But hey, I only needed one, and he's now downstairs, almost 2 years old. So, um, not quite two, but 6 months from that. Um, yeah, Scotty said I've got about 6 to 8 months before we start trying. Gonna test soon. Yeah, get the test done now, because you got to remember. Let's just assume that you need to take a fertility protocol. Um, we can assume that's fine, but it takes 90 days to regenerate before you can test again. So if you want to start trying in 6 to 8 months, get your baseline done now. We can I'll go over the protocol with you. Obviously, please talk to your doctor, or I'll go over the results with you. But yeah, of course, talk to your doctor. Um, maybe the results aren't so fucking bad, and maybe you just need a little HCG, and that's enough to wake you up. A lot of times guys can stay on like TRT to a point. Um, but yeah, once you get those baseline results, then you plan what you're going to do. But yeah, get those done as soon as possible. You can never get that baseline done too early. Um, see where you're at, because if you want to try in 6 to 8 months, well, now we see where you're at, and if you do need to start the protocol, now we start the protocol, and then we have to wait 90 days before we can even test again. So another 3-4 months before you even test again. And then we get those results. And if those results are not favorable, well, we make adjustments, and now we go another 90 days. So, man, people, hey, I want to try in 6 to 8 months. You better just start trying now. And what I mean by trying is get that baseline done as soon as possible. Man, if you're even thinking about having kids in the next 2 years, and you're an active bodybuilder, I suggest getting a baseline test done. And you can never get it done too early. and then you're not surprised later, you know? So, yeah, all good things to keep in mind. All good things. Amy says for women, baseline AMH and AFC is a good thing to do as well. Yeah, yeah. So those would be another one. Women have to get checked, guys. Women have to get checked, um, especially when they start getting over 30. And no, that's not. It doesn't make you old, but I mean, guys, people used to have children much younger than we do now, which is okay. We just live in a different generation. It's totally fine. Not saying anything like that. But you need to get those things checked on their side too. Like Scotty said, no one talks about the female side in the bodybuilding space. And the only person that does it, not only person, I shouldn't be stupid and say shit like that. One of one of the main people that talk about that is Victoria Felkar, um, Scott McNally's wife. So she was a good resource for me, um, about some of the questions I had. So Scotty, that's a good person. If you do have like extensive questions that you want answered in depth, to a higher knowledge than my bro ass is capable of, reach out to her. Um, she is the female version of Scott Stevenson when it comes to female hormones and all that stuff. That the other one is that the Corey. I just call her Corey Fit. I don't remember her last name. Something with an H. She's quite intelligent too. But if from my personal experience, speaking with Victoria Felkar um, was extremely helpful, and I had the pleasure and honor of meeting her at a seminar in Ohio, where we met, a bunch of different doctors, Eric Serrano, and whatever, a bunch of presenters. So long story short, I was able to meet her there, and she spoke to me extensively about the process and the female side of things, and it was all very, very cool. Um, because I just, like you said, no one talks about it in our space. All they talk about is HCG, man. It's like, well, it's not the only one, but okay. So yeah, Victoria Felkar would be my recommendation. Lando was already cooking when you were talking to her. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Amanda was, you know, pretty much. Yeah, Amanda was already pregnant at that point. Yeah, that's funny. So, yep, that's fertility in a nutshell. Those rules. The female side is just, if not more important. Not more. Nothing's more or less, right? But just as important. And that's one of the first things I ask clients that, let's say they start a protocol and it's been 100 days and they're like, well, we're still not pregnant. It's like, okay, are you checking her stuff? Yeah, she's good. What do you mean she's good? I didn't ask how she was doing. I I asked if you're checking her stuff. Um, track the cycles. Scotty, I mean, you can't start too early. Have Marissa start looking into these things now. Um, she can get that Natural Cycles app now. Um, and a lot of that is just tracking her cycles, which is great. You'll learn a lot. I was into it, dude. I was all into it because it was a whole new world to me, and it was very interesting. Um, from a standpoint of just learning more about it. But it actually became helpful when I started coaching more and more women because a lot of men just don't know the phasing of the cycle, and how you can actually change nutrition and training based off the cycle. you know um and doing check-ins for women, and you can see these things fluctuate. It's something it's totally separate that you have to keep in mind, is where are they with this, what are the hormones doing right now. Is there any sort of contraception, or uh, birth control, or any type of those things being used? Is there any exogenous progesterone being used, like exogenous estrogen? What are they taking? It's so much more involved than coaching guys, honestly, and I love it. I mean, I've learned so much over the years, um, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting because a lot of times coaching guys is, I don't want to say easy, but just more cut and dried. Okay, that is our hour 50 mark. Unless you guys have additional questions, I am going to sign off for the day. Um, by sign off for the day, I mean the amount of clients I'm going to talk to today is minimal. Just being honest, I'm trying to set these weekends aside um, for more family time. That's my goal this year, is to still be extremely responsive, as you guys know I am, but the weekends I'm drawing more boundaries, um, and that's for my family. And all of my clients have been so cool about it. And and if you guys are in an active contest prep, hell yeah, I'm there. And that's a conversation I have with Amanda. Hey, so and so's in a show today. This is their day. We got to get this done. And um, that's still going to be the thing. So I don't want you guys think you can't message me and shit like that. I'm always here for you. You know that. But my responsiveness will be less on the weekends. I'm just telling you all that now. But that's not to scare you away from messaging me. Always got your back, no matter what. All of you, love the support and the trust. Appreciate that. Grateful for you all. Um, but just know responsiveness is going to be slower on the weekends. And all of you have been so understanding of that, anyways. So not a problem. But yeah, like I said, don't be afraid to still reach out. But that's how it's going to be. You know, love it. I love it. It's uh it's great to be able to do what I do. Grateful for it. Love all you guys. And we'll do this again. Next Saturday we are out of town. I still might try to squeeze, a quick 30-40 minute in, just to stay in rotation, be consistent for you guys, as I always ask you guys to be consistent with everything it is that you do. So yeah, so I'll probably be on here next weekend for a very short one, and then we are going out of town for the weekend. So cool. Appreciate you all. My phone is still on and alive. Responsiveness is slower on the weekend. Expect closer to 3 to 4 hour response times as opposed to my typical 30 minutes. So awesome. Thank you guys for watching this. ChaseIronsForum.com. If you have not joined, I suggest doing so. There is exclusive content and availability for specific things now on that site, which is going to be very helpful for a lot of you moving forward as far as sourcing, um, tools and things like that for your goals. So that's all to be found there. TommyJohnCoaching.com. The website is getting better. I'm adding more things and features. I now have an email subscription. So if you guys want to sign up for email subscription, please do so. You will start to get newsletters about what's happening with my coaching. I'm going to start putting out tips and tricks. All of that's going to be included in those newsletters. So that's a new thing that I'm doing, just trying to give back to you guys as much as I can. So there's going to be short educational pieces on different topics that come out. And all different stuff that I have in the works. So please subscribe to my email, you know, subscription. You can do that through the website, and you guys will be getting some content there. You'll know when I'm going live, everything like that. So thank you all. Appreciate you all. Happy New Year. Hopefully, you are all on track and not raiding your pantry. So, peace.